This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we've got the top 16 deck list for the CoreTCG Digimon Webcam Regional that happened today as a recording. So I pretty much commentated the entire tournament, got some food, and then made this document, and then is recording is right now. So I hope you guys appreciate all the work for this and getting these deck lists for you too. As well as if you guys want to see the actual tournament VOD, it will be on Twitch, as well as it will be uploaded to YouTube within a week of this video dropping. So if you guys want to see the tournament in general, it should be there. So, but big shout outs to Core for running the event, letting me stream it, as well as giving me these deck lists. And also shout outs to Brian for being the production side of the stream too. I really do appreciate all the hard work that he did to make it go from good to great. But going over the deck lists themselves, we do have a mix of 6 Imperialdramon, 3 blue hybrid, a Mastemon, or sorry, 3 Mastemon, and then a yellow purple security control, an X-Antibody, a Beelstarmon, and a yellow hybrid. Only one yellow hybrid in the top 16 is quite rare. I think Imperialdramon is doing well, and blue hybrid of all things ended up getting the first place finish too. So a good variety from this event. There were over 500 players in this, 8 rounds, almost 9 rounds if Dan did not tie on his pair down, but a super good tournament. Honestly, the biggest thing for me for this tournament, there's so much variety. I was worried that I was going to see a lot of Imperialdramon and yellow hybrid, and of course we did see a lot of Imperialdramon, but there's honestly a lot of Beelstarmon, which is really interesting to see, and still a wide variety, which is amazing. I do love that, and this has really been one of my favorite metas in the card game, I think, at least for a while. And it's been very fun and very refreshing to kind of build decks and have this variety that we have today. So we're going to go over the top list from every archetype and just kind of go from there. So starting us off, we do have Jose Salas's first place blue hybrid list. We've obviously been seeing a lot of blue hybrid ever since it's released. It's such a strong deck. And honestly, I don't think it's going anywhere. And if you're trying to get into this game right now, it's probably one of the best and easiest ways to get a competitive deck. This deck is pretty cheap. Probably the most expensive card is that Davis right there. You don't need a full playset of them. Obviously, they are nice, though, being able to find your additional cards. But there are some, I'd say, like cheap replacements for it, too, if you can't. And it's such a difficult deck to master. And it's really kind of gives a lot of power to people who can consistently stay with it, consistently play with it, and find what like this tiny optimizations for it. So not a lot of, I would say, interesting or new adds to this list. Is pretty solid, and really the only thing people have been adding with BT8 is Innocence Blizzard, being able to kind of do some more stun. But I think this definitely means like people who top with this are people who've been grinding really hard and have a lot of focus for the deck and what it tries to do. So I think Jose Salas definitely was that this weekend, and congratulations for getting that first place with this list. Next up, we do have Dan Vang's second place in Imperialdramon. So he ended up going 7-0-1 with this deck, only getting a tie. So technically undefeated, but we know that Dan is such a warrior when it comes to Imperialdramon and kind of these kind of aggressive decks, but really kind of like a strategic aggressive deck. And that's kind of really what I like about a lot of the aggressive decks in this game. Even though they are more aggro and everything, which is normally not my playstyle, it's still, you have to find the ways to do it. You have to tiptoe through it. You have to make some decisions. You have to take some risks. And I think that's all about what Dan's really good at in this game. So being able to run 3 of the mega deaths, obviously those are very strong when they are hit in security, or even without a security. Being able to get rid of cards that are obnoxious for only 5 is great. You just get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and then return one of them to their hand. And the same thing from the security effects, so there's a lot of cool things there. But yeah, very strong deck for what it does. A lot of interesting one-ofs and small text too, like the Betamons, the Vmons of a 3-4-4 split. Everyone has their own ideas of what Vmons they like, and this is what Dan decided, not liking the BT8, but liking the Star Deck 9-1 a little bit more. having a 1 Magnamon for your blocker stuff and everything. Hidden Potential Discovered is a good card too, especially because you can go all the way into fighter mode. And like, especially if you have a Davis and Kent out, Hidden Potential Discovered is such a good card going into one of your multicolor guys. So really strong list, very strong player, and congrats to Dan on his 2nd place. We also do have Kevin Besta's Thurnt. Not fixing it, it's too late. 3rd place, Security Control. And this is a really obnoxious deck, but it looks incredibly powerful when it's able to work. And so the idea with it is that you just gain a lot of security throughout the game. You use your Tamers, your Mimis, and your Karis to be able to make all of your things cost less. So anything that heals, so for example, Reinforcing Memory Boost or like a Holy Wave, those cost 1 less with Mimi. And obviously, with the Kari and the Mimi, the same. So if you have all of them out, you can do Holy Wave for free. And then you also have like Blade of the True, being able to draw 1 card for every 2 security cards. So even this is like your first turn of the game, like you get to draw 2 cards for 2, which is kind of nice. And just a lot of option cards, and then some recycle with them too with the Junomon. So, or not, sorry, with the Avenge Kidmon. So this is a 12 cost level 6, but when playing this card from your hand, reduces memory cost by 1 for each option card in your opponent's trashes. And then on play, return all cards with 3 Musketeers in their traits and all option cards from both players' trashes to the bottom of their owner's decks. If 7 or more cards are returned using this effect, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3 Musketeers in its trait or 8k DP or less. So this is really good to prevent yourself from decking out, and it can be great for like a match where you just kind of drag on the matches. And probably like most of the games I saw with this, and also we saw, I think, Chance running a very similar list, is that you just kind of win by doing well on game 1, and then game 2 is, end of time, and then no one wins with it. So this is a good kind of deck for that. I do like the idea of this. And it's very obnoxious to play against. So there's a lot of recovery, a lot of just doing nothing, passing memory, and I think there's some good things. So and then you just get to recycle your options back. Flame Hell Scythe is great with Magna too, so being able to pop something and recover is fantastic. You also technically can play Flame Hell Scythe for 0 memory if you have the Mimis and Karis out, because if you pay 4 for Mimi and then you get the reduced 2 if you play Magna to get that, that's kind of nice. There's also the Junomon, so just retaliation. And when Digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck, then return 1 Digimon from your trash to your hand to pretty much recycle anything like your Avenged Digimons if you need that, which can also go into Bond of Bravery. There's a lot of interesting decks, a very interesting deck too, and we haven't really seen Security Control for a while, so I'm happy to see it doing well, though I'm sure a lot of people are not happy to see it, rearing its ugly head back into the game. But I don't know. We'll see how it does. But yeah, obnoxious for a lot, and definitely very good in the Beelstar matchup, just having to main deck this dude anyways. So anyways, going into our next one, we do have Kaden Kawakami's, my apologies, 9th place Mastemon. So we do see some Mastemon in this top as well. Placing 9th place is the highest one, but some interesting text here of seeing the Avenged Kidmon in this build as well. I think most of the top, or like the level 5s, are understood of having Magna, Aandroidmon's Lady Devi, the Aandroidd as well from the starter deck, and the Lucamon Chaos Mode, just to a lot of people not running the option card to bring it out, and that's fine because it can be kind of clunky. But the Metal Garurumon version is really interesting still. So if you go up to this, you can do your Digiburst for 2, you can use your Underworld's Call or your Flame Hell Sights or your Purple Memory Boost for free off them, and kind of go from there. So just, the Flame Hell Sight by itself for free is nice, especially since you can pop a black a Gautomon, and then from there you get to play it again. And like the kind of the good combo that I've seen that I can tell is that you have like a Candlemon and then like a Gautomon and then like anything else, then you go into your thing, right? So you do the Digiburst with Gato and something else, but not Candle. And then for Flame Hell Scythe, so you play it for free. Flame Hell Scythe, you get the Gautomon back. And then with that, you get to look the top 3. Then also the Candlemon, once per turn when you play another purple Digimon, you get to gain a memory. So even if you just are at 0, you go to 1. And then from that, you can go back into Lady Devi. And then from there, you can go into a Hardcast and Magna. And then you can go to Mastemon all in the same turn. So like there's a big kind of good combo from there. and just a lot of cards that are fantastic. Just Gatomon in general is probably one of the best cards in the deck. So having the Underworld's Call and the Flame Hell Scythe to help find it and get it back, I think is very good. So strong deck. I think Mastemon's not going anywhere. I think No Mulligans is not the best for it. I think it shines a lot more with Mulligans, but without it, it's still a good deck. You just have to make sure that you are playing it correctly and that you do have that smidge of good luck as well. So congrats there. And next up, we do have an 11th place Eduardo Serpa's X-Antibody. This is like pretty much like this deck or like an Ancient Gray or something like that always kind of sneaks into a top 16. Pretty much any deck that just has like this OTK strategy does have a chance. A lot of decks aren't running blockers, which is kind of the way to get around this or to survive against this list. And you pretty much just go into your big boy Alphamon. You have a lot of swings with it, especially when you have the Arurumon underneath it, which if you put it underneath it, you can restand. Additionally, every time this swings, you get to gain 2 memory back as long as it survives, as well as you can pay up to 5 to get the plus 1 KDP. And it's for the turn too. So if you swing, pay 5 memory, you get 3 back. You're able to get 2 back, for 3, and then it's a 16k, and then you can swing again, and you can do the same thing. So you can pump it up pretty big, and there's obviously a lot of ways to get security attacks with the Sanzariumon and everything else. So strong deck. I think people you do have to get a little bit lucky with this, with what you're seeing and what you're playing against, but when it goes off, it really, really goes off. Next up, we do have Howard Kwon's 13th place Beelstar, and for real, we saw a lot of Beelstar today, and maybe not more than usual, but I felt like every other match at the beginning was a Beelstar, which is really fun to see. And I think there's some really cool innovations that have been made in the last couple of tournaments that I've seen with it. Specifically, like I'm really digging this blue package in general, being able to use some blue option cards. This deck's not playing Ice Wall, which is interesting. I do see most playing just the one Ice Wall if can, instead of like the Howling Crusher. But Kakai's Breath does get around a lot of cards that can't get popped, as well as there's a bunch of obnoxious level 7s this deck just can't deal with. If there's like Happy Bullet Showering can sometimes, if it's the only one, but if they have a bunch of weenies out at the same time, you just can't interact with it. So being able to have Kakai's Breath just to interact with it in some way, I think is a good card and really, really kind of helps the deck out. In general, we do see you have like our rookie package. Calling from the Darkness 2 is just such a great card, especially since you don't have to delete anything. If you have an empty board, you can just get 2 cards back from your drop area for free, which is nice, which can just mean a Beelstarmon, which can mean your Ginkakumon promotes, which can be a lot of good things. You can even get like Eismon back into your hand and then discard it from something else. And then if you still have your scatter mode, you can play it from there. But really, really good deck. I've been seeing a lot of matches with it recently, and it's been really impressive. I want to build it now. It's been looking like a lot of fun, and I've missed this deck, and I want to play it again. So I'll probably try to build something like this. So congrats to Howard there. And our last deck that we're going over is everyone's favorite. It is that yellow hybrid. So this is Anthony Coy's yellow hybrid, and I'll say this. We all know how this deck works, and we all pretty much know how it looks like. It's been pretty understood. So definitely more of a pilot-centered deck than a deck builders-centered deck. But I will say, I think a lot of people are starting to recognize what this deck does, as well as making some adaptations to get rid of this deck in a lot of ways, or making some kind of bad matchups for it. So I think it's a little bit understood. I mean, 1 in top 16 is not fantastic, but it's still gotten to that top 16. And I know for other tournaments this weekend, it has done well as well. So I don't think in any regard that it's gone, or people are you're not going to see this ever again. But I think that people recognize what it does and has some counters for it. So that's kind of good to see. And it's interesting seeing, I don't know. I can't believe there's only 1, and it's barely in this with the top 16, but that is how it works, and it's very interesting from there. But that is going to be our top 16 breakdown for this event. Thank you again to Core for again hosting the event and letting me stream the event, and for also giving me these lists to give to you guys. Shoutouts again to Brian for helping on the production side of the stream too. And if you guys want to see the re-uploads of the stream, it will be here on YouTube within a week. Otherwise, you can check out the link on Twitch in the description below to find the VOD on Twitch there. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for all the support on everything I do. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.